Hello, my name is Marek Tutaj. I am a programmer in RGD, Rat Genome Database, Medical College of Wisconsin. I will be talking about data loading pipelines in RGD that bring in data from numerous sources for several species. RGD is a model organism database for rat, what means it is a depository of all kinds of data associated with rat research. But RGD is more than that. It also contains data for other species, most importantly for human, but also for mouse, chinchilla, bonobo, squirrel, dog, and pig. We host data for orphan species, like dog, because there is no dedicated databases for them. We provide the rich data context for the given species, genomic and phenotypic data, literature, variants, disease associations, and so on. Also, dog research have access to all the tools in RGD. RGD as a multi-species database holds a lot of different types of data from many sources. To mention few, genomic data, protein, mouse, nomenclature, ontologies, and so on. That's a lot of data to load and keep it up to date. RGD has a small developers team, 3 to 5 developers by average, and from that, only 1 to 2 work on data loading pipelines. Therefore, RGD developed a number of practices to make data loading and updates efficient. We use uniform coding platform, Java. We use source code control and build servers, reuse code templates, and incremental updates paradigm. So how data loading process looks like in details? We have frequent weekly data releases. Between data releases, our pipelines run on the staging database that has full set of production data at all times. We use incremental updates by querying incoming data against the database and updating only what changes. Our pipelines follow short circuit break paradigm. If there is any kind of problem, the pipeline breaks immediately. Is this a big concern? No, we only risk that the data this particular pipeline is responsible for is not fully up to date. Please note that previously loaded data is still there. A developer can troubleshoot the pipeline when he has time to do it, no rush. The remaining pipelines could run as usual. The most popular approaches to load data are drop and reload and incremental updates. With drop and reload that we used in the past, we start from empty database and we populate it by running sequentially a number of data loading pipelines. With incremental updates, we have always present persistent data store, always populated with production data. A number of data loading pipelines could be run at the same time, usually independent of each other, updating their data sets of responsibility. Drop and reload concept is easy to understand and implement, good for starter projects, but eventually, when data sets grow, the workflows are becoming increasingly more complex and bigger IT team is needed, especially for data releases. Example of typical problem with drop and reload is multiple points of failure, represented by red arrows. Since drop and reload process is sequential in nature, if any of data loading pipelines breaks, the loading is blocked until the issue is addressed. The data store is partially populated at that time. With incremental updates, however, we don't have this problem. Data loading pipelines are independent from each other. If one or more breaks, they don't block the data release and they don't block other pipelines. Data in staging database is still production quality, possibly slightly out of date due to one or more pipelines being broken. Data release process could be fully automated and usually requires very little supervision. Developers can focus fully on their project. In RGD, we look at the data loading pipelines as a commodity, something that could be created fast with little effort from a template. So we have designated dev environment, database access API library, login systems, summary emails, and we follow write once, deploy anywhere paradigm. Another aspect of drop and reload issues we had in the past. Since big data sets needed to be loaded into data store efficiently, we had to spend a lot of our effort to resort to low-level database-specific loading techniques. With incremental updates, however, there is no need to do that. We just use traditional approaches found in textbooks like typical SQL statements, insert, update, delete, and that's it. Why? With incremental updates, majority of the pipeline time is needed for QC to compare incoming data versus database. And this is fast. These standard queries can be run in parallel, taking advantage of database built-in caching mechanism. Data updates, however, are quite infrequent and pose little stress on the database. So we have shown an architecture of data loading pipelines specifically designed for small bioinformatics team that supports loading of large data sets efficiently with little maintenance and with great performance. Thank you to the entire RGD team.